We're going to go over some basics on writing the equation of a line. Now, really simply, you need two things to write the equation for any line. The two things that you need are the slope, and you can get the slope by looking at a graph and telling what the slope is. You can use the formula to tell what the slope is. Once you get the slope, you also need the y-intercept of the line. That's where that line runs into the y-axis. Once you have these two pieces of information, then you can write the equation of a line. You simply put those numbers in the right spot in the formula or the equation, however you want to say it, and once you've got those two numbers in the right spot, you've got the equation of a line. So you need the slope and you need the y-intercept. One formula a lot of people like to use is y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. The only thing you need to do is figure out what the slope is. Once you figure out what the slope is, you simply put it right in that spot right there. Almost every formula is going to have a y and an x in it. This is going to be a number right here. You're going to figure out what the slope is by looking at the graph, using the formula. Same with the y-intercept. The y-intercept simply goes in this spot right here. Once you know what the y-intercept is, you put it in that spot. A number simply goes right there in that spot right there. So, an example of this would be me taking something like this information. However I got it, I've got the slope and I've got the y-intercept. The only thing I have to do is plug it into the right spots in this formula. Y equals mx plus b. I simply take the slope and put it in this spot right here. Y equals 1/2 x. And then I take my y-intercept and I simply put it right there. Plus 5. Sometimes students get confused as to what sign goes right there. They see the formula has a plus. The sign is dependent on what the y-intercept is. If it's a negative number, it's a minus. If it's a positive number, it's a plus. Sometimes they'll just write a number there for the y-intercept, and sometimes they'll actually give you the point that's the y-intercept. Either way, you still do the exact same thing. You're going to use y equals mx plus b. You're going to take your slope and you're going to put it right here in this spot right here. Y equals -4. You're going to put an x beside it, and you take the y part of the y-intercept. This is an x, this is your y and your point. Notice it's a -7. That means I put -7 in that spot right there. This is the equation of this line. This line has a slope of -4 and a y-intercept of -7. The next two videos are going to go over typically how these equations or how these problems are given to students. And typically they're given in one of two ways. One, you're given the slope and a point that's on that line. That means the point's not necessarily the y-intercept. Next video is going to go over how to use this formula to write the equation when you're given the slope and a point. Video after that is going to be how to find the equation of a line when you're given 2 points.